can be just us.
That's
Hi,
fine.
folks. Welcome back to the Library of Alexandria. And today, guys, we're going to be talking about DragonAge, the franchise just in general. And we're not going to take up too much of y'all's time, but DragonAge 4, aka Veilguard. I don't know what was wrong with Dreadwolf. I think Kim here has. Don't you like Veilguard better?
I do. I didn't really like the name Dreadwolf just
What?
because it felt like it was out of like it would be like calling Inquisition Dragon Age Corypheus or
No,
Origins like
Corypheus sucks.
Dragon. Oh yeah.
What's wrong? What
So are
is
you saying
wrong with
the
naming it
Dreadwolf
after
doesn't?
villain? What's wrong with naming it after villain?
I just think that that's not in the spirit of the Dragon Age franchise. That's all.
They don't call DragonAge 2 DragonAge Hawk.
No, because to be fair, they were thinking about calling it Dragon Age Exodus, and then they didn't, which
That would have been better
such a
than,
cooler name.
I don't know, Veilguard sounds.
I don't like the "the" in it. I will say that. I don't like it's Dragon Age the Veilguard. I would rather it just be Dragon Age.
Is it really DragonAge the Veilguard?
Yep.
You know who calls it that? Nobody.
Yeah.
Literally nobody calls it.
Nobody.
Every single person calls it DragonAge Veilguard. Anyway, welcome here. We got 20. This is, guys, I'm not gonna lie, this is 20 people more than I thought was gonna join in. Good for y'all. So I love DragonAge. But this is actually new for me. I am never I don't ever have chats where I know the least about the thing that we're going to be talking about. So that's weird for me. Like usually it's like, hey, I really like this thing. Here's some other people who can talk about it with me. But K Fox and Sal are far and away better DragonAge scholars than I am. And so they are here to elucidate not just me, but the rest of y'all. So with me, I have K Fox and Master Sal. They can introduce themselves momentarily, but we're just gonna be talking about DragonAge because thank you. We can just shut it down now. That's the best party. Alistair Morgan Shale. We're just gonna be talking about DragonAge and in the lead up to Veilguard because I am not super excited about Veilguard. Mostly because Inquisition I didn't like, and what I've seen of Veilguard doesn't thrill me. I don't hate it, but I'm also like, yeah, when I finish Metaphor Re Fantasio, like I'll get around to playing DragonAge. I'm just not. It's not like Trails Through Daybreak 2, which finally got a release date that I will be playing instantly on. Look at that fat child. I will be playing instantly on February 14th. Here's that, bud. He's just down like like 2 whole bottles of formula.
8 ounces.
Real star of the show.
Anyway, so I hate Leliana.
Oh gosh.
I hate Leliana in both games, or all 3 games that she's in. I don't like Leliana.
Really.
Yeah, I just strongly dislike Leliana. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna be talking about just kind of as how we feel about Veilguard, how we feel about upcoming. My thoughts are slightly better now that people have played it and have said it. They said it that they've enjoyed it. I think Veilguard is poorly marketed. Like I'm not really sure. Like I think they think that the only thing I like are Marvel movies, and that's how they're like. I'm just like, why are you marketing it like this? Like I don't want the Borderlands trailer because that's what it is. Like it's a Borderlands trailer where it's like, oh look at this, oh no, and she's flung out of the portal, and then it freezes and shows like her class name. It's literally Borderlands. At any rate,
But at least DragonAge has been consistent in its bad trailers.
That's true.
I don't remember the other trailers. I just remember
They're
I just
bad.
remember they were good. Are they? Okay, that's fine. Anyway, K Fox, you can introduce yourself, and then Sal introduce yourself, and then we'll move on.
All right. So I'm K Fox. I love DragonAge. I have been playing it for a while now. I'm definitely biased positively towards it. I'm not gonna lie. I love a lot of the lore behind it. I love a lot of the world and just the story behind it. I have read all of the novels and comics, and I'm actually currently rereading the short story collection before the game comes out. So I'm in pretty deep, and I'm definitely someone who has been um furious with Dragon Age opinions. Some of them, yes. But I've also been someone that I I have been following all of the news since everything came out. Like, I have been anytime there's been a scrap of news, anytime the BioWare blog has been updated, anytime there's been anything, I have been on it. So whenever the marketing started coming out, I was like, "Oh, this is fun. This is interesting." But I didn't have the same concerns as a lot of other, I guess, fans did. And
Why can't we get Sandal and what's his name, right? Sandal?
Sandal, yeah.
Why
yeah,
can't we get him as a party member? He's
well, as a
Jumpman.
party member, I feel like he would be way too powerful.
Yeah, Jumpman. I love
I
that.
am really hoping that I am really hoping that he comes back in Veilguard. I don't know how they would finagle that, but I'm hoping for it. But yes, all that to say, I recognize that I am positively biased towards Dragon Age, and I am excited for the game. I am like literally counting down the hours at this point. I don't
Yeah.
think there's anything else that I can really say about myself when it comes to Dragon
I
Age right
forgot
now.
to say that I have only experienced this, guys. I've played each game one time. I played Origins when it came out. I played Awakening when it came out. I played 2 when it came out. I played Inquisition when it came out. I played the first DLC of Inquisition, and then I moved on. And when Trespasser came out, I never played it because I didn't care. Because at that point, I was so burned on Inquisition, which I did not really enjoy. I mean, Corypheus is a stupid villain. I didn't really enjoy any of the people in Inquisition, and so I moved on. In addition, I don't know when Andromeda came out, but Andromeda further soured me on BioWare because I've been following BioWare since some of those people were Black Isle, playing friggin' Baldur's Gate, and I'm used to them making good games with good stories and good villains and good companions, and then it's like a 1-2 punch. We get blasted with freaking Inquisition, and then I don't know if it was shortly after. I don't know the timeline. And then we get Andromeda, and I'm just like, BioWare, what have y'all done? Like, where is Dragon Age 1 and 2 and Mass Effect 1, 2, and the majority of 3? Like, what did y'all do? Like, why have y'all decided that none of the stuff that I used to like about these games exists? Let's go to a different galaxy and have fewer races than the Milky Way. Let's make the main villain rock people. The cat, get out of here. Like, it's just rock people. So they make me so mad. Anyway, that being said, I have been not optimistic. I'm on the opposite. I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum as K Fox. I'm not optimistic about Dragon Age 4. I'm not optimistic about Mass Effect 4 that they're working on right now. I'm not optimistic at all. So, was Corypheus a villain before Inquisition? Was he?
In one of the Dragon Age 2 DLCs.
Yep.
Really?
Mhm.
I played all those. I don't remember him at all.
I think he was better personally in
He was
Dragon
what?
Age. And I think he was better in the Dragon Age 2 DLC than he was in Inquisition.
Because the
Oh,
Dragon Age 2 DLC was better than Inquisition, probably.
oh, yeah. Anyway, all right, Sal. What about you? What's your experience with this? Where do you stand?
So I've somewhere in between of probably you and K Fox. So I've played all the games. I've read all the books. I have read all the comics. I have replayed Origins, and then I skipped 2 because I wanted to play Inquisition before Veilguard, and then I got stuck in the hinterlands, and that destroyed my will to live. So I'll probably go back. So I'll be honest, I'm not optimistic about Veilguard even though I mean people have enjoyed it, I don't like the combat that I've been seeing in the videos. That's kind of all I looked at.
Yes, Sal, we're gonna bully Kim here. Yes.
Oh no.
It looks very colorful, like
I don't love the graphics either, but
yeah.
I mean, who am I?
So for me, I'm hoping the story sort of recovers it, because for me these games are like, what I loved about the games is more about the story. So for me, like, I love RPGs. I started with Final Fantasy, and for me, like, this kind of is more story based, which is why I've loved it more than combat. Like, if you have the Elder Scrolls, right, like that's one end of your walk around, kill monsters kind of RPG. This one was more about the story. So I'm interested to see what they do in Veilguard. But I'm not excited about the gameplay, which is kind of making me a bit mid. But the world is great. I still love the world. I've liked the media around it. So I'm kind of looking forward to see what this is, what the Veilguard is, and hopefully the companions. Despite Alan, I agree that trailer was awful, but it's got a griffin, so yeah.
Baldur's Gate 3, I did not play immediately either, because I loved Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, even though Baldur's Gate 1 is kind of boring. Like Sarah Vuck is not a super compelling villain, but you need 1 to understand 2 mostly. And John Irenicus is one of my favorite villains of all time from Baldur's Gate 2. In addition, Baldur's Gate 3, none of the companions looked interesting to me either. But I've played Baldur's Gate 3 now. I have not finished it, but I've played it. I've made it to Act 3, and I like the companions. They sold me, and that is what I'm hoping Veilguard will do. I'm hoping that, like, even though none of them really stand out to me as like, oh, I definitely want that person in my party, I'm hoping that they will endear themselves to me. That's what I'm hoping for. And I know BioWare's capable of doing it. They've done it before. You know what I mean? Like, so in Dragon Age 1 and Mass Effect. Now, what I want to ask is, going into this, I'm going to ask right now, what was y'all's Dragon Age 1 party? What was your Dragon Age 1 party first? I was two-handed warrior, Alistair as my tank, Morrigan as my healer caster, and then Shale as another boom, another like pound. I'm not sure. That's not true. I used a rogue in the second game, but I did not use a rogue in the first game. It was three warriors and Morrigan. What about you, K Fox?
So I am almost always a dual wielding rogue. And I will say that I also played Origins. I played every single background in Origins, so I did not have the same party every time.
I was a human, by the way. It needs to be understood that
human,
I play only
human
humans.
noble.
I only play humans.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one that I shove elves down when I see them. Dwarves are okay, but like elves, I shove them down.
Mm-hmm.
I try to oppress them whenever possible. It's true.
See, for me, my favorite background is actually the city elf Origins.
Well, what, the oppressed person? I might have shoved you down in a game.
Yes, I like playing the underdog. I like playing the oppressed person who like goes through and battles and leads the revolution and
I'd much rather oppress them.
Takes down the oppressor. So
I mean, I think the city elf is the most interesting of the Origins. I like the dwarf one too.
I was gonna say the castless dwarf is my second favorite. Yeah, I just like that story a lot.
The human one is lame, but I don't care. I'm playing a human.
It was my first one, so it does hold a special place in my heart. But yes, I am always I am always a dual wielding rogue.
Who was your favorite card to use then? Dual wielding.
I would say definitely Alistair. You're gonna hate this. I generally went Win as my healer because if you do nice things, then Morrigan hates you. If you help people, Morrigan gets.
You know what? I'm okay with it, because then I will die on the hill that Morrigan, Alistair, and Shale have the best in-game banter of any other party.
I can get behind that. I can get behind that.
They
Although
hate
with
each other.
Win,
all three of them, they hate each other.
Although with Win, Alistair asks her to like fix his socks. He's like, I've got a hole in my socks. You wouldn't want me fighting Darkspawn with a hole in my socks,
Oh
would
my
you?
gosh.
And
Alistair.
it's so funny.
I love Alistair as a character. He is just
Me too.
such a whiny baby, but also, you know, I like Alistair.
Mhm.
What about you, Sal?
So the first time I played the game, I played.
I would not know. I never used Win ever. The second I got her, bandage.
The first time I played Elf Mage. Then I stopped in between because I didn't like playing as a mage because I, roasted my party members through accidental fire, which was great. So then I switched to a rogue human as well, like human noble, because I was like, might as well be a noble in this very depressing world. And then the party, I always had Alistair because he's my favorite.
Yeah.
Practically, if I'm playing like to win the game, like my first time I played with Win, I enjoyed. I agree with you, K Fox. I enjoyed their banter as well. But because I was a rogue, I never took Liliana and never took Zevran, and like so the, I liked what is the Kunari? I liked him.
Sten.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, there are two people, no matter how many playthroughs I did, that sat the bench, Sten and Win. And also
Ogren.
Dog. And the
Ogren,
three of
yeah.
them.
Ogren.
The dwarf.
Ogren, the dwarf.
I forgot Ogren was even in the game. So the four of them, Dog, Win, Sten, and Ogren, they played hearts for the entire time that I'm saving the world from the Darkspawn.
Yeah.
I'm not playing with them.
I
used Liliana and Zevran when I had to, because sometimes I needed them to unlock crap. Right? Like, stuff was locked, right? There was lock.
That's why I always play rogue.
Yeah,
because I can't stand
that's
things.
The only time I would have them in there is because I needed someone to unlock crap. Otherwise,
yeah, I played with Liliana when I was a mage, and I mean, I'll be honest, the accent annoyed me, to be fair.
Yeah.
And sorry for any French-speaking people who speak like that.
Fine. No, don't apologize for French hating on this channel. Don't have such a terrible accent. A terrible country.
Yeah. So but it annoyed me because I liked Morrigan as a sort of character better, but like I don't like her power set, so I preferred Win from a healer perspective.
Respect her, Sal. You just respect.
I'm sorry, Morrigan can't be a healer. Like she
can. She was my healer.
No, I mean like she character-wise can't be a healer, right?
Yeah,
like she's not a caring healer type, right? Like so.
Exactly. Okay, so in 2, I played I played heavy two-hander hawk. So I just recreated my two-handed warrior, and then I used Isabella or Isabel, whichever one it is, and Avalon was my tank, and then I used Anders because I liked Anders from you. Do you get Anders? Anders is a character in 2, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
party member.
He's your main healer.
Just
my main healer as well.
So I used Anders because I liked him from Awakenings. I hate him in Dragon Age 2. I just hate, like, he's just a drag. Like, way to take a fun character from Awakenings and remove everything that was good about him and make him like the insufferable friend who has discovered a cause and you just don't want to hang out with them anymore. It's like, oh my gosh, just go throw mustard gas at a whaler or something. Like, just stop ruining, like harshing everybody else's vibes, Anders. By the way, we're going to talk full spoilers in here. So if you're like, we're playing any of these games, well, we're about to drop some big knowledge on you here in a minute. I loved Isabella. Sorry, Urza. I loved Isabella. I like the whole pirate chic. And also I romanced Isabella, which is unsurprising to basically anybody. I romanced Isabella in 2. I romanced Morrigan in 1. And then in 3, I don't even think I cared. I don't even know. I don't know who I romanced in 3. Can you romance Liliana in 3?
No.
Dadgummit. Who can you romance in 3?
You could romance Josephine, Cassandra. Josephine's one of the other advisors.
The diplomat advisor.
Oh, I think that's who I romanced. She's not a party member.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I think that's why
No.
romance, because I didn't like any of the party members. I didn't like any of the party members to romance. Urza, you're incorrect. My taste is the only correct one. So yeah. I don't like Anderson too either. He got a spot in my party solely on my liking him from Awakening. That's it. If it was just Anders on his own, get out. And also I needed a healer. So who else can be your healer in 2?
I think it's just Anders.
Oh, they really, really want to shoehorn him in there, don't they?
Yes.
Because otherwise the whole twist, the
Mhm.
I
John
think
Wick thing doesn't work.
I think Meredith is the best villain of the series. I love Meredith.
I like Meredith a lot too.
she's
So
such a
let
good
me ask you guys
character.
a question. So in all the games, did you side with Templars or mages? Because that's a choice always.
I hate
Templars
the
or
mages.
mages.
I am happy to carry out their purges. Stupid mages in their dumb towers with their dumb traps. Get out of here. I'm all about
Alan
Templars,
is 100% on the side of the oppressors.
let us
He's
cleanse the
anti-elf,
world of their
anti-mage.
No, the mages, I hate them. I hate them with their stupid noses in a book, with their crappy stamina and their low hit points and their dumb friendly fire, except for Morrigan and Flemeth. They're okay. And Anders in 1.5. But after that, no. And you know what? Thank you, Anders, for giving me the impetus to stage a crusade against the rest of them. Thank you. Thank you for that.
I have never been able to choose the Templar. So I've always been like, okay, this playthrough, I will
What do you
choose
mean
the
you've never
Templars.
been able to choose the Templars? It's the best choice.
I know. No.
All you
I
mages sympathize.
like mages, so because I play as mages, so for me it's like, well, they oppress me, so like
I never play as a caster. I always play as a warrior. I just don't play casters, except in WoW. And so yeah, I do understand, except that mages are whiny and also manipulative and evil. So
Look at Meredith though. She was awful too.
Meredith, what are you kidding? Meredith is the hero of the entire series.
I don't know. I felt that both the villains are in 2 are just like her fall to the dark side because you choose that magic idol thing was just ridiculous. But then so were the mages going also like Patty was also a bit ridiculous. Like so I don't know. Like 2 for me should have been about the Kunari. Right? Should have been the arrow shock. Should have been
no DragonAge game should be about the stupid.
No,
Kunari.
as the villain, as the big
Kunari.
villain should have been the Kunari fight. You know the one if you
I don't care about the Kunari.
I love the Kunari. I think the Kunari are something or an aspect of DragonAge that makes the setting completely unique. So it's not just like, oh, another elf, dwarf, human fantasy world.
Okay, cool. I can oppress the Kunari just as well as I can oppress the elf.
No, but they're pretty oppressive, Alan. So you'd appreciate that society,
I mean, yeah, if I liked looking at stupid Kunari, I might. Instead, I'm going to oppress them and force them to do all of my manual labor because they are large and strong.
I mean, good luck. They're
I like the character.
That arrow shock fighting too is not easy.
I mean, that is true. That is true. It is not an easy fight. I just don't like the Kunari. That's not true. Who is the Kunari? Is that guy? You're
Iron Bull.
I like the Kunari from 2.
From 2, the air shock.
Yeah. I did like the Kunari storyline in 2. I actually did like that. I don't like the Kunari in 3. I think I don't care. And in 1, I certainly didn't care. Stan, get out of here, Stan. Like, who are you?
That's what I mean. Like in 3, they're Fairy Prince aside, who I like Iron Bull because of the voice actor, but they're irrelevant. Like 2 should have been about the Kunari.
No, I love the Templar mage thing. Like I hate.
No, I mean I like it, but like the biggest fight is with the arrow shock, and that comes in Act 2, and then 3 is kind of like Anders is ridiculous. What the hell happened? Like they should have flipped it,
Look at Urza trying to get Evie to ban me in my own channel. I don't. They better have a good reason for having Morrigan up in here. Like I don't like the whole current modern era of pop culture that we have that is nothing but, oh, look at what we did here. Do you remember this thing from the previous things? You know, where there's not really any reason to have any of it other than like, oh, look, Morrigan was in those first games. You know,
Okay, so here we go.
All right.
So Mythal has an entire thing behind her where she, Mythal is the elven goddess of justice.
Also,
I thought that was who possessed Anders.
No, that was a spirit of justice.
Oh my God.
Mythal was besties with the Dreadwolf from our understanding from talking with Solus. And so she is the elven goddess of justice. And basically there has been sort of this pattern of betrayed women that either there are theories that she possessed or she has possessed them. And Flemeth, basically the line of Flemeth and the Witch of the Wild, the whole thing with Morrigan, you remember how she finds that book and wants you to kill Flemeth in the first game?
Yeah.
It's because she finds out that Flemeth wants to like possess her body. That's actually Mythal. And so at the end of Dragon Age Inquisition, that's when the big reveal happened that Flemeth was Mythal. And that's when people started theorizing, oh gosh, now is Morrigan gonna be the next Mythal?
You be real careful. You sound like a One Piece fan right now. Like I'll say what I want and have whatever opinions I want on my own channel. If you think there's only one right opinion, only one way to talk about Dragon Age, you are welcome to find that discussion elsewhere. Thank you. Continue.
And I'm honestly excited for the opportunity to nerd out at you. But yeah, there are theories that that there are like other things, like there are even theories that Andraste was a host of Mythal, who is, you know, Andraste. And then there are other things with I don't know if you read all the codex entries in the first one, but there's one.
I did.
Hey, Fox, who reads all the codex entries?
I mean, I do. I just don't remember them years later.
Excellent. Good.
Wow. I don't.
I do.
I ask K Fox.
That's what I'm gonna do now. I'm just gonna message her in Discord, be like, Kim, what are they talking about?
So there was a series of codex entries, and I'm gonna say this wrong because I just read the name, and I think it was like Tirda Brightaxe. And it was poetry. It was like an epic poem about a woman who got betrayed, and she was part of the human tribes, like from way before Ferelden was even a kingdom. And so there are also theories that she was a host of Mythal. And so, yes, it's all connected through Mythal. And so that's why it's kind of exciting that Morrigan is coming back.
But is it Morrigan or is it Flemeth? That's what Thornall was asking.
So yeah, that's the question.
But it better have a purpose. I think I agree with Alan if it's just fan service, because she went through the mirrors and stuff, right? So in theory, she could have been lost in time and come back, kind of thing.
Yeah,
that would have I hope there's a plot to it, right? Like there's an arc.
Oh, I agree. I hope it's the awesome thing that Kim's saying, and not like, hey, look, you remember Morrigan? Blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? So I hope it's that. Also, because why? Kim, explain to me, why are they ignoring the Grey Warden? And what happened? Aren't they ignoring something that happened in not the Feywild, the Vale, with you know, the original Grey Warden, like the hero of Ferelden, right? Like, aren't they ignoring that storyline? Didn't he do something in Inquisition in the Vale that they're ignoring?
Oh, no, not the hero Ferelden.
Who does something in the Vale? The Inquisitor?
There's Hawk. Well, the Inquisitor
Hawk.
And there's the choice between Hawk and a Grey Warden, and who you leave to die. And it can, depending on your choices, it could be Alistair, or it could be Hawk, or it could be a random Grey Warden named Stroud, who plays a very small part in Dragon Age 2.
Yeah.
Thank God I made Alistair king, because otherwise I would have been very upset at that choice.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
But
I
yes,
think mine was probably Hawk.
You chose Hawk?
You left Hawk?
No, I'm just saying
Oh.
I would have probably had the choice of Hawk, right? Like Hawk.
Oh,
Hawk,
between Alistair
it's
and Hawk?
It's Hawk or the Grey Warden.
Oh,
Like, you bring them both in.
I left Stroud,
Stroud.
then, right? Yeah,
Me too.
over
Me too.
Hawk. Get out of here.
There are very few. So I've played through all the games several times, and there are very few decisions and playthroughs that I haven't done, and that is one that I have not done because I started it and I was so intimidated and so like distressed about getting to that part that I just didn't play the rest of it.
No.
So yeah.
All right, and then I don't know, Inquisition. I don't even remember who I used. I used Cassandra. Oh, that's right. I used Cassandra Blackwall and what? Vivienne, is that her name? The caster lady. I was not super ecstatic about any of them, really. I did
like Cassandra because she reads romance novels on the side.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't love Inquisition. And I never here's the thing. If you don't use Solus, all of like the plot twist at the end and it is so much less impactful than if you used Solus in your party. I did not use Solus one time because I'm like, you dumb bald-looking elf, like you look stupid. I don't like you. And I usually don't use casters other than Morrigan and Anders. Well, no, I use Vivienne, but I liked her better than Solus. At least she was like a noble and was good with oppressing people, you know.
I agree, Brian. I also never use Solus or Cole.
I certainly use Cole or Sarah.
Cole so much.
I don't like Cole.
So
I don't like Sarah. I use Iron Bull every now and then, but
I think if you read the book, so Alan, there's a book before the game, which makes Cole much more interesting. But I went played the game first, and I was like, I don't know who this is.
Yeah, I read the book before I played Inquisition, and I didn't even know Cole was going to be in Inquisition, but I loved Cole's character in the book. And then when I played Inquisition and he showed up, I literally like freaked out. I was so excited that he was in the game, and I actually restarted the game because, like I said, I always do dual wielding rogue, and then I was like, no, he's gonna be a dual wielding rogue. So I restarted the game as an archer so that I could have him as in my party all the time.
Okay, so a couple things about Veilguard is like so it's supposed to theoretically be stopping Solus and the Dreadwolf, right? But you stop him first of all.
See.
No, first of all, again, I'm just talking about my concerns. I've seen the beginning of the game where it's the scrappy party put together trying to stop and they delay his ritual, whatever, with the pillars or whatever. It's the gameplay video they show, you know, where they're fighting through what, Tevinter, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
That's the major place. And you know, they dump the column, which first of all, I'm already like, how did these chuckleheads stop Solus, right? But that's how every Marvel movie starts with.
But that's also how every Dragon Age game is.
One did not start like that.
One, you literally lose all of the Grey Wardens, and then you have Alistair and Morrigan, and you have to find people to help you.
That's not the same thing as we stopped a literal god momentarily, and now we have to soup up so we can stop him permanently. That Dragon Age 1 is everyone is dead. We have to fix it. Like, we screwed up. That's the opposite of that. Like, we could not. And
I'm thinking this probably like a twist that we haven't seen, Alan, because I have a feeling that he will stop it, kind of thing.
I hope so. I hope a lot of, I see people talking about like they don't want, like, I want the darker tone also. Like 2 has a less dark tone until I mean, Anders blowing up the Chantry is,
and the
serial killer thing.
Yeah.
The what?
The serial killer.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah. Like but like, you know, the city you're in is a much brighter place than everything. Just looks kind of dead and dark spawny in Origins. And I really liked the hero Ferelden. And I thought Loghain was I liked Loghain as a villain. Like, I thought he was, you know, Isn't his
Un-
daughter in that game?
She's the queen.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved Loghain. And I liked fighting the Darkspawn and learning about the Grey Wardens. And then in 2, it was different. A lot of people don't like 2, and I guess I
Yeah.
understand why, but I really enjoyed 2. I think I just liked the Mage Chantry War thing. Like, I liked that storyline, which I think helped a lot.
I think the storyline is really good. Like you also get the Kunari thing,
Kunari stuff,
the mage. Like the setup is actually pretty good, except for the stupid villain. It's the gameplay. It's the city itself was just the assets were so bad.
Yeah. And in 3, I remember when I heard about Inquisition, I thought the Inquisitor thing was cool, and games do this all the time. Like, the Inquisitor thing is cool, like, actually trying to, like, run, a council of whatever, and they did nothing with it. Like, they did nothing with the Inquisitor thing. Like, what choices do I actually make that affect anything as being in charge of any of this? Like, it just felt so bleh. And Cordyceps, not the Cordyceps, what's his stupid name? Corypheus?
Corypheus.
Another rock monster or whatever. Like, what is BioWare and their rock people? Like, just don't. It just, and then Soulless, and I'm like, oh, hello, backbencher. I see the Dreadwolf. Ah, it should have forced me to use him at some point. It did not.
Yeah.
So I thought that was I literally think my feeling about the whole game would have changed if Soulless had been one of my main party members. Because that would have been so cool to be like,
Yeah.
holy crap, he's the Dreadwolf, instead of like, oh,
who's he again?
My first
guess.
playthrough, he was my romance.
Oh, then that and
It-
Trespasser must have been awesome for you.
Oh yeah, it was so good.
No.
And it really it just really I understand. It altered my entire thing, because even though in all my playthroughs I don't romance him, I still think that is potentially like the best story of the game. Just
I think
because
I think it's really cool if I cared about Soulless at all, which I do not.
That's fair. Yeah, and
But it was a cool idea. I think they were trying to do what they did with Anders, though, like but Anders was in so many people's party that his betrayal made sense, right? Like, even though I didn't like him as the change, I did when I killed him, like in my playthrough, and that kind of upset me. In 3, I was like, I honestly at one point forgot. I was like, who is Soulless again?
Hang on. Oh my gosh. I think I sided with the mages the first time. I think the first time I played 2, I sided with the mages because I think I was still endeared to Anders. And I was like, okay, I did not know he was going to blow up the Chantry. And after that, oh no, we get to choose after that, right?
Yeah, it's after that.
Sorry. So no, I did not side with the mages. I was making mage choices the entire game because of Anders. And then he blows up the Chantry, and I was like, oh no, like, you've lost me, bud. Nope. I was no longer on board once he blows up the freaking Chantry. That's right. Oh my gosh.
And Pete, you should not listen to this, because all of this, if you're playing the games,
Pete, we've spoiled the whole games for you. Like, too bad. It doesn't matter. Like, having something spoiled in a game does not necessarily, like, you can still enjoy it, but
especially a game like this where there are so many different choices.
Oh, it was yeah, I forgot about that. I like that this stuff comes back. Remembering this. That's right. Because I was pro mage because I liked Anders. And then I was like, oh no, I guess Meredith, I'm with you. Let's kill him. Like, you can't.
And in the beginning, like, he's a bit of dour, but like he's looking after the oppressed, and they set this up pretty well in the sense that, like, when he blows it up, like that's the only time I'm like, I don't like the Templars, but maybe I should choose them because mages are crazy.
That's what I'm saying. If the mages weren't so crazy, I wouldn't choose them. Now, I do like that for Veilguard takes place at least partly in Tevinter, which we've been waiting to see, right? Haven't we all been waiting to see Tevinter for forever?
Yeah.
Isn't that why people love, what's his name in the
Dorian?
Dorian, thank you.
Dorian is great.
I love Dorian.
I low key forgot who he was. Did not use him. So I forgot who he was until the trailer came out and everybody was talking about Dorian. But hold on. Yes. So what do y'all think about their decision to have Varric be Varys? Varric, right?
Mhm.
Have Varric be here again. Like be here as kind of
So my
the
speculation is that it'll kill him.
in that
I
move.
I think that either he is going to die or he's going to be in a role very similar to like Cullen and Liliana and Josephine, where he's not really going to play a huge part. He's going to kind of be in the sidelines. But I also think that maybe he will die.
So I think, Alan, they'll kill him.
This is unhelpful. Like if you don't want to talk, like this is just unhelpful and whatever. Like just let people talk about stuff they like. So
I think they'll kill him. I think that's
Mhm.
why Solos will stop.
So I'm hoping. I will give them a lot of credit if they kill Varric in that opening, where you're trying to stop Solus there with
Mhm.
the pillars. I will give them a lot of credit because too many games. This is one
Mhm.
reason I'm enjoying Metaphor Re Fantasio now, which is by the Persona people that just came out. It has killed more than one character permanently, and it's been my favorite series of RPGs currently is the Trails of series, and they don't kill anybody. Or when they do, like no one's dead. Like unless you saw the body, no one's dead. And even then it's a 50-50. Like even then, like if you saw the body, like it's a coin toss on are they really dead? And it really, I love it. It's my favorite series, but it really pulls some of the emotional weight away. And I think video games, I think most media that of this kind of nature, books too, I think there's this real reluctance to leave people dead. And it's because they're popular and, we like, oh, well, we got to get people to watch or we got to get people to read or we got to get people to play. And so they bring them back because they don't want to alienate people, I think. And this is, again, just
Mhm.
speculation. I miss the days where they would kill people. Like just kill a character. Like kill a character and let them be dead. And I would
I'm
mention
thinking
a
that
specific
hopefully they'll
game.
do something bold, but
I would mention
Yeah.
a specific game, but anybody that hasn't played it would just be a huge spoiler for a different game. But there is a game recently that has there's a game that has come out where a very beloved character dies early on in the game, and that is the impetus for the rest of the game. And I'm like, and it completely motivates me. I'm like, I don't care. This person is dead. I don't
Mhm.
care. Don't try to humanize them to me. I don't care. Guess what? They killed this other character. I don't care what their damage is. I'm going to end them. Like, I don't care about their stupid, sad backstory. I'm going to kill them. And I wish they would do more of that
Mhm.
in video games and and
so
fantasy
Final
and
Fantasy
books.
VII Legacy.
Yes. Oh, you mean Rebirth? How? Oh my gosh. Like, why are y'all freaking threading the needle on that? Like, why would you walk that? That's one of the most impactful deaths in all of video games. Aerith's death.
I was gonna say I haven't even played it, but I know exactly who you're talking about because I remember bawling whenever that happened.
And now what they're doing is like they didn't walk it back,
Exact,
but
but
they're hedging.
yeah.
And it's just like, why are y'all doing that? Come on. And so that's not, I'm not super
There was
thrilled about
a comment earlier. I just want to ask now. So we talked about characters and stuff, but what about gameplay? Which was your favorite game to play?
that. So, K Fox, you answer.
For me, it was 2. I had a lot of fun playing 2. I thought it was so
I
much
feel
fun.
bad saying that,
That's
but I
the
had a
one
lot
that
of
I
fun.
have played the most because it's just a blast. I have fun with it. A lot of people talk about the repeated maps. I have a terrible memory and I get lost in games. So the repeated maps actually were very helpful for me. I did not mind that at all. I loved that and I loved the gameplay of it because it felt a lot more fun. In Origins, it's a lot slower and I don't know, it just
Do you
did
play
not.
real time with pause RPGs? CRPGs?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have. They're not my favorite.
So
I do prefer action RPGs
okay,
if I'm gonna.
so
Yeah.
Sal, I play the isometric RPGs, but I pause and save scum like it's my job. So I
Me
don't
too.
like everything happens like in Origins.
Yeah.
Everything pause, give commands, unpause. They've done their commands. Pause, issue commands. Unpause. They've done their commands. I liked 2 also. Like it was. I mean, I didn't have to pause as much to do stuff. But at that same time, I don't love what I've seen about the combat of
Mhm.
like the Tevinter area that they're showing, like leading up to the Solus and the Pillars in the gameplay thing that they showed. Like they're showing off the gameplay, and I'm just like, I don't. They're talking about the combat. I'm like, I don't. I mean, I don't. I'm not seeing what y'all are seeing. Like, I don't.
Mhm.
This doesn't look. This looks really boring and repetitive to me. He says in a Dragon Age game.
Wait, have you ever played an archer?
Yes. Oh no, no, I haven't. If I had an archer, I use Varric.
So bad. It's so bad.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I bet your rotation is a snooze fest as an archer.
Yeah. And I guess I will go on and put the qualifier that I play the games for the story and for the characters in the world more than the gameplay.
Yeah.
So even if the gameplay is awful, as long as I can get through the game on like the easiest mode, I don't care.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm really hoping. I really am hoping that they do something ballsy like kill Varric. I'm hoping that the tone of the trailer is not indicative because I do like quips. Like I said, Alistair and Morgan and Shale in game 1 are
Mhm.
very quippy, but I think their dialogue's really good. But everyone in the game does it, and this is the marvelification of everything.
Mhm.
I like the early MCU where Tony Stark was the quipster. Like that was it. Thor was not because Thor was super serious, Asgardian. Captain America, that was not who he was. And by the middle, by the middle of the thing, and I was okay with Peter Quill too, right? In Guardians of the Galaxy. That's fine. Like those two can be quipsters. But by the middle, every single person is a quipster. Everyone is such a clever quip, and it's just not necessary. I don't feel like they now don't have they don't have a differentiation between their personalities. Like everyone is like, oh, look how clever I am. And it wasn't like that in Origins either. Leliana was not a quipster. Sten certainly was not a quipster. Zevran had some, and that's okay. Zevran was, the Antonio Banderas character. Like I'm fine with that. But Leliana didn't. Sten did not. Dog didn't. Thank goodness they don't have him barking and having like subtitles of him quipping.
I was gonna say, I don't know. Some of the camp interactions with Dog were pretty quippy.
But not Dog himself. Like
No.
surely Dog is not. But now, like if it was now, like Logain would be sitting there quipping, and I think that would so detract from Logain's absolute like zealotry, thinking that he's doing the right thing. And I hope they don't, and I guess they didn't do it with Corypheus, which is good. Corypheus is just boring.
He came too
And
late.
yeah,
That's the
absolutely.
problem.
Yeah.
So Corypheus was really boring, and I'm not going to defend him as a villain, but I will say that Calpurnia, which was his second in command if you chose the Templars, Calpurnia was a really good storyline and a really good, like, I don't even want to call her a villain, because like her whole storyline was that Corypheus broke her out of slavery and was like, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to make Tevinter better. But he was actually tricking her and going to essentially imprison and enslave her to like, I forget what it was. It was like a magical device that he was going to use to do something, break open the veil. Who knows? And if you like reveal that to her, you can convince her to leave Corypheus. And like, that was cool. That was interesting.
More of that was happening. Like, like in my playthrough, he seemed irrelevant to what was happening, right? Like it was if you saw him do a little bit more, I think it could have been interesting. You know, I just feel like, I don't know, like he comes too late in the game for, like, to be sort of convincing. Like
That's
I'm
almost
hoping that the
exactly how
villain
I
here is actively doing things
Yeah.
in
Mhm.
That's I feel almost the exact same way, Sal. Like Corypheus comes too late, and also I sided with the Templars, and so I did see some of that, but I've forgotten. I
Mhm.
just looked them both up, and I do remember Calpurnia,
Mhm.
and I liking her better
Mhm.
than Corypheus. I think Sal's right. I don't think Corypheus was relevant for long enough. Like he did not have enough effect on what was happening because I did not
Yeah.
watch Corypheus betray the
Mhm.
Cohorts and
Well,
kill
yeah.
everybody, you know, that I was
And
a
he
part of.
has a really cool intro, but then he's gone
Yeah,
for several of the main quests after
yeah.
that.
Like,
Yeah, I can agree with that.
and I just compare it to Logain. Like Logain was infested everything we did from the beginning to the end. Like
Mhm.
everything had Logain's handprint on
Especially
it.
as a human
Yeah,
noble.
absolutely. Um I think there was less of that in 2 just because it could go several ways. But I mean it was the Templar mage thing was at the center of basically everything that was going on, like
Mhm.
the conflict between them. And then there was just a lot of it did the open world thing, but not well the way The Witcher 3 does.
And that is something that they've made it very clear that they're moving away from in
But
this one.
hi, thanks. Thank you for the super chat here. Blood magic. So I never you could play a blood mage, right? In the other games?
In the
I never
first
played a
one,
wizard.
I don't think you can. Can you in the second one, Sal?
Yeah, you
I was
can.
gonna say because you
Vin
were a
can become a
cast.
blood mage.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have heard that you cannot in the third one, but that there are story and lore reasons as to like why you would not want to.
Gotcha.
Like why it would not make sense.
So real quick, like, yes, I agree. I do not know why culture war garbage has to infest every single thing that anyone wants to enjoy. What if we just want to sit here? We can talk about the crap that we don't like about Veilguard. I'm happy to talk about the crap that I don't like about Veilguard. I've spent most of this chat talking about the stuff I don't like about Veilguard. It doesn't have to be culture war bull crap where everyone just parrots a freaking slogan, which is a whole bunch of words that don't actually have any meaning anymore. Like, I get it. You cannot like the Veilguard. There's plenty of valid reasons to not like it. It looks
Mhm.
tonally weird. It sometimes feels like it's about to be Marvilified. I don't think none of the companions really stand out to me. The combat doesn't look interesting to me, but I think I've just forgotten Dragon Age combat. Like, I don't know why it has to be some. I just don't know why. Like keep your garbage away from video games. Like infest everything else in the world. Like just just stop. Like just stop. And if that's what you want to talk about, this is the wrong channel to do it. Like there are plenty of you can go watch someone who agrees exactly with you about Veilguard. Absolutely. And then there's those other channels that's going to trash all of those people. You're welcome to go watch any of those channels. That's not what this is. We're talking about people who like Dragon Age, and we're talking about, what we may be concerned about with I'm talking about what I may be concerned about with Veilguard. But that's mostly because I like just like CD Projekt Red with crap Cyberpunk garbage 77 and its release lost all of my goodwill built up from Witcher 2 and 3. BioWare has lost all my goodwill. Like I no longer take it as fact that BioWare is going to produce an excellent RPG because it's been a long time.
Oh,
And to be honest, what my biggest fear, like to be like is, and this is not BioWare specifically, it's about we've gotten some great RPGs. Like when Inquisition came out, it was 10 years ago, and like from a game perspective, it wasn't bad. You had a lot of characters, the whole BioWare character driven, like it's not Skyrim. I love Skyrim, like, but
I do not.
like I like the Elder Scrolls a lot, but like you didn't have a lot of what BioWare was doing with sort of RPGs, right? I'm
I
like,
am
with
by not
now
engaging.
so many RPGs, I do wonder how it will hit. Because let's be honest, like I loved BG3, I loved Origins, all of the other RPGs we've gotten. So I wonder now what it's going to do.
What
And
an excellent point.
yeah,
Yeah. BioWare was like It was BioWare, and back when Square Enix knew how to make an RPG, they don't anymore. And that's actually a debate right now, because Metaphor Ray Fantasio is the fastest selling, it's Atlas's fastest selling RPG ever, and has a Metacritic score of 94 and is in contention for Game of the Year. And the guy is talking about, he doesn't like the creator, doesn't like when the game feels like a bunch of people sat in a boardroom and decided like how to best make a game or whatever. He's like, I just wanted to make a game that had some human element in it, and it is really, really good. And then you look at Square Enix, that is disappointed at both Rebirth and Final Fantasy 16, which neither are terrible games, but I would put neither game anywhere near my top list. It's so sad, because Square Enix used to be
Fantastic, yeah.
They used to be the guys, and I do not know. I don't remember the last time that I played a Square Enix game and was just blown away. Instead, I'm like, I mean, this looks good, but guys, why do y'all not know how to tell a story anymore? Like, why don't y'all know how to tell a story anymore? And the itemization on Final Fantasy 16 is one of the biggest travesties I've ever seen. I'm going to run off and I'm going to click this. I'm going to get the shiny 2 gil. I'm going to get 2 gil from this. Every item I get to craft, there's no crafting. There's literally upgrading your weapon to the next tier after every main story quest. So that's not crafting. That's just buying the next weapon. Like, it's like they're like it's about to be released, and they're like, oh crap, guys, we don't have any items in this game. Quick. Anyway, but that's such a good point, Sal, because we have so much more choice now than we did back when, because it was at the dawn of the PS4, because I got DAI on my PS3 on launch day, and that garbage was unplayable. They ought to be ashamed of themselves. If you're going to release something on the PS3, you better make sure it can play on the PS3. You hear me?
no.
CD Projekt Red. I literally, the next day, I took both of them back. I returned my game. I traded in my PS3, got a PS4, and the PS4 version.
It also made me upgrade to a PS4.
And it was like, I did like Inquisition, but it was just such a step down.
Yeah,
and I will say that what makes me excited about Veilguard is the world. I think they've got a good the world is great. It's consistent mostly, and it's good. It's a good setup. They can tell a good story in it. Like if they keep to a tighter story, right? And I think that's where Inquisition failed for me, and I think it's the hinterlands, honestly, because like the rest of it, Alan, honestly, is not too bad. If you skip the hinterlands, if you get Atticus to play it, to be honest.
I think what also happened with BioWare is that there was this push with EA to make crap. Like, first of all, everyone copies. Like the most abomination one was when the Wii came out and did so well, and frickin' Microsoft came out with a dang Kinect and Sony with a PlayStation Eye, because they assume it's like, guys, stop trying to copy this other garbage. Like, so they copy the open world crap that everyone was doing at the time.
That's what I was about to.
But also
to
the addition of multiplayer. They have to focus. Like, everything had a multiplayer component at the time. Even Mass Effect 3, which, in fairness, the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer was actually really good. But they had to then focus on a multiplayer element rather than putting everything on. And then we see that thing follow it to its end, and we get Anthem, which was an absolute disaster, because they were just trying to make Destiny, and nobody wants to play that. They would just play Destiny. What are y'all doing with Anthem? No one played Anthem. Anybody play Anthem? I did not. Oh, I got another super chat. Hold on. So I have never liked elves really in anything.
The D&D hangover?
Look, I have said before, when I play D&D or RPGs, I am so incredibly racist. Like, I am a human, and I don't like all the non-humans. Like, I don't like any of them. I like golems because I like shale, but I always hate elves because elves are either freaking whiny, like they are in freaking DragonAge, or they think they're better than me. And I'll show you better than me. I'll attack you. Like, get out of my face with that.
See, I'm okay with whiny elves. I'm not okay with pretentious elves.
No, I'm going to press them, and I'm going to kill the other ones. And then the dwarves, That's why I like the Dwarf Origin story so much. And I think Origins and 2 do some really good stuff with the Dwarf storylines. I think some of the Dwarf storylines are really cool. Same thing in The Witcher 2 has a really good Dwarf storyline. I think dwarves are underutilized a lot of times.
I was gonna say you need to play the Descent DLC in Inquisition because that is a dwarf
I only played
storyline.
the first one. What, Jaws of something?
Hack on.
Yeah, I just played that
Yeah,
one.
yeah. I think that you would potentially enjoy the Descent.
K Fox, was this the first, or I do think in this case, Alan, the reversal of elves, right, from Tolkien elves to like make them the oppressed race, happened in Origins. At least that's the one I remember the most.
Yeah.
So for me, they were interesting from that point of view because I
love
don't
Bruder.
expect elves to be shorter because
Yeah.
you know Tolkien, and the movie. So they were oppressed, right? So usually dwarves and before again pre-Witcher times, right? So like to me, this was the first time we saw elves as not D&D elves almost,
Mhm.
right? So like for me that was an interesting sort of take. Again, that's why I like the world.
Yeah, same.
I had played Witcher 2 before this, so I think that was my first real subversion. Well, no, not before Origin, but I played Witcher 2 before Inquisition, for sure. Because I used to, I know this, I can track everything by what system I had. I came late to the PS3 because I hated the stupid PS3. Sony got too big for their britches after the PS2. And so I had an Xbox 360 for a long time before I switched back over to the PS3 at the end, like near the end of its life. Tolkien elves are the worst. DragonAge elves are better. I don't like Tolkien elves. They're the worst. I love Brunner. Thorno, I love Brunner is responsible for my lifelong really like of dwarves. Really, I do like dwarves because of Brunner. He's the best. So anyway, we don't get to choose. This is the first time, right? We do not get to choose our race in Veilguard, right? We're all
No, I think you do.
No.
Oh, we're playing the same character, but it's just it can be any race. What's his name? Rook?
Rook, yeah. And from my
Same like
understanding,
Inquisition,
that's
you
like
always
a
play the
title.
Inquisitor. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a title or a nickname more so than like anything. They're called
Could
Rook.
Hawk be any race, or was Hawk always a human?
Hawk was always a human.
Okay. All right. I do not know.
like that. I like the hopefully again functionally if you always play Rook. I miss the origin sort of openness of the background, but like if you always play one title, it could be tighter the story, right?
I thought it was okay. I thought they did it well in Dragon Age 2. Like I thought the Hawk thing was cool.
Hawk, yeah.
Doesn't your sister go and join the mages?
Yeah,
it depends.
So it again depends on depending on who you are as a character. So if you play a mage, your brother survives and becomes the Templar. Or no, it becomes
I played a warrior, and
warrior.
she survived and became a mage.
And also, I guess spoilers for other choices you can make.
I've already spoiled everything.
If you bring your sibling into the Deep Roads, they get tainted by the Darkspawn.
That's
and so they can either die from that, or if you bring Anders with them, then Anders goes off and finds a troop of Grey Wardens nearby, and they can become a Grey Warden.
That's what happened to mine.
And that's why I did like too from that perspective. I liked the fact that your siblings are involved. I like the whole like the length of the story. Like you get to see change in your family. Like they need a remaster too, just with better assets. That would be great.
The BioWare they did the same thing in Andromeda, and they did not do it well at all. Like the same character, whatever. Where it's
because the sibling does nothing though, right? Like the sibling
literally nothing. Literally nothing. Okay, so let's talk about this. My favorite storyline running through the whole thing is the Grey Wardens. Like I love the hero Ferelden, and I love the Grey Wardens. And it seems like every subsequent game, the Grey Wardens have less to do.
So I think
they're coming back in
there's
Veilguard?
gonna be more. And I will say, Pythax in the chat, that's actually my partner. And so he is also a huge Grey Warden fan. And
okay.
So
all right, Pythax, there we go. Pythax knows.
And so I've been keeping an extra eye on the Grey Warden stuff. But I think that one thing that the devs have said is that this book is a great indicator for the tone of the story and for the direction of a lot of things. And there are at least a couple of stories that are like literally about the Grey Wardens in this. And so I think that that's a great indicator.
So if Alan, you're looking forward to the return of the Grey Wardens, what else are you guys looking forward to that you want Veilguard to have?
So if they bring back the Grey Wardens in a big way, like they are 50% there to getting me on board because I love the Grey Wardens.
And yeah.
I love
they have to.
And they have to do something with Awakening. Like that was my favorite DLC.
Really
so good.
They do. I really hope they do. But yeah, so getting into I guess the lore and the background and everything, there are a lot of fan theories.
What?
That,
I can choose Grey Wardens as a background?
Yeah, you can be a Grey Warden.
Really?
I'm suddenly excited. Yes. Yeah.
All right.
You can be a Grey Warden.
Okay.
But yeah, getting into like lore and I guess theories, but also not really theories anymore. The blight is closely associated with the elven gods somehow. We don't know if it's because they like made it happen or they discovered it somehow in the Fade and brought it from the Fade, but
biological warfare.
Especially with Gillenan or Gillenan is how it's pronounced, I guess. Gillenan. She is one of the so in the gameplay trailer at the end when the two figures raise up and then Solus looks like he's about to wet himself.
Yeah.
The one with all the tentacles is Gillenan.
Elf god?
Yeah.
There's too much elf. See, now you brought me out of it. I was so excited about the Grey Wardens, but then there's so much elf junk.
I am very torn about the elf stuff because I understand because it has to be if Solus is going to be involved.
I'm torn on whether or not I want Solus to bite it early, and
I do.
I'm not
conflicted about that. Kill him.
As long as I'm the one who can do it.
That's fine. But the problem is like at least I've seen Solus, so at least even though I never used him, I at least have some kind of awareness that Solus exists and is a bad guy. If they killed him, they would have to find a new one, which I don't think they're going to do. It's going to be stupid Solus.
I think they bring back the Darkspawn. Like my wish would be that they bring back the Darkspawn as the existential threat, and make them intelligent, and bring back the Awakening guy or one of the gods like together and kill Solus.
So hang on.
The
other thing is people have complained about. Oh, look! Can I be a Templar? Like, can I please be a Templar? Is a Templar a background?
I don't think so. No, because in Tevinter, Templars are wimps.
What?
In Tevinter, because it's rolled by mages.
Oh my god!
Why would they let Templars have power?
Nothing but mages and elves.
Evil mages and elves.
But Tevinter, like they spit on elves and enslave them. So
okay. All right,
there you go.
All right, we're back on top. What there have been complaints about? Let's wade through the dumb complaints and get to complaints that I actually understand. People didn't like the goofy looking Darkspawn, but the devs say that there's a reason that they're goofy looking.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that? I looked at it, I'm like, yeah, you do look goofy, but I mean, I just thought that was just their aesthetic that they're going with this whole game. Like, here's a bunch of goofy looking crap. Hello, honey. How are you? I'm good. Did
Hi,
you?
Christina.
You left?
Yep.
With the baby?
Yep.
When?
45 minutes ago. Did y'all see me leave?
Yeah, you walked out with the.
Is that okay?
Yes, that's okay.
Thank you, honey. I love you.
Love you too. Y'all have fun.
Yeah, we're having fun. I'm learning so much. Can I see him? No, I'm learning so much. Like, no, Kim knows, she knows her stuff. Anyway, so
I
sorry.
am by far not the like most informative person, by the way. I'm gonna go ahead and promote another channel that I love. Her channel is Gilder Thalin, and she literally has videos where she reads the codex entries aloud. So if you ever just don't want to read them, then you can just listen to her
Let me ask
reading
you
them.
this: does she have the story so far on Dragon Age video that I can catch up, that I can watch?
She has each game so far, but Jackdaw has one that's like an hour and a half long, and it covers all the games,
That's
all
what
the
I-
comics, all
that's
the
what I-
DLC. I will send it to you.
Please, because that's what I will watch prior to
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
So, what were you going to say about the Goofy Darkspawn?
Just that, so in one of the stories, there is specifically talk about a essentially it's in the deep roads, and it's like a worship site, I guess, not really a temple, but almost an altar with this strange, icky, like tainted liquid. And there's talk about how the darkspawn have been fused with like other creatures, and it's very like the imagery in it is very like Lovecraftian, I would say. But yes, there's a short story, it's called The Horror of Hormak, and it specifically sort of addresses that, and it makes it seem like since Gillenane is there, that's potentially why the darkspawn look weird.
Okay, let me ask you this:
Mhm.
which game is it where you go, you're working for something, and you're looking for some cargo, and it's underground, and the cargo is red lyrium? Is that right? Red lyrium? Is that it?
Something to
Is that it?
Is
Right? Is that what it is?
Are you
Red?
thinking of two where it's like the red lyrium idol?
Yes, and it corrupts. That corrupts Meredith.
Yep.
Yeah. So you go with Varric's
I didn't
brother.
like that. I don't like I thought she was fine without being corrupted. Like I thought she was.
That's
thought
what I
she-
meant by that. To make her a villain at the end, you kind of need a weird bioengineered
Okay.
lyrium thing, which is just silly.
I got you. Okay, sorry. It takes me a second to remember all this stuff. Like I literally
You're
just
good. You're
remembered
good.
that lyrium thing.
And like in the context of the story, it somewhat made sense because you had Varric's brother who also like
Yes,
got driven mad by the red lyrium,
that's
and
what I was thinking of.
yeah. Mm-hmm. And also I guess in the context of Dragon Age Inquisition, it makes sense because then they're like feeding the red lyrium to the Templars and making them. So it
Okay.
like I can understand why it's not people's favorite
Okay,
thing. But
Two
yes.
other complaints that I've seen that I just forgot
Mhm.
about. But I see the complaints. We're having you field them. One, why does the dude have a griffin? Because there are no griffins.
The
Two,
last flight.
I thought it was really hard to go to and from the fade. So why is there a fade jumper?
So okay. For the Griffins, I will just summarize. There is a book called The Last Flight. And basically the reason why Griffins went extinct is because someone was trying to use Griffin blood to figure out how to cure the blight in people. So if they got blighted, then because Griffins were naturally immune to
So
becoming,
hang on. When you're blighted, you have to become a Grey Warden, right?
or you die,
Or you die.
or
Okay.
No,
or
you
you
eventually
die,
become
or
a
you become a
darkspawn.
ghoul. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Which is why
And
the Grey Wardens are so cool, because they eventually will get corrupted. And that's when they go
Mhm.
off and kill,
Just hold on. So being a Grey Warden just slows it down.
mhm.
Yeah.
Man, I've forgotten all this stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
It's been a decade
So
since I played anything Dragon Age. All right, continue.
so there was a mage who was a Grey Warden who was trying to find a cure for the blight so that people would not have to become a Grey Warden, because even with the Grey Warden joining, people die. Like it's not a 100% fix. And so there were
You drink the thing, right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And in the first game, like one of the guys like drinks it and then falls over dead.
Yeah, like the guys.
Yeah. But
that was cool. That was a cool moment.
Yeah.
But so yeah, someone's trying to find the cure for it and accidentally ends up infecting the griffins with the blight, so the griffins get the blight. But whenever the griffins have it, it becomes like an airborne virus. And so it spreads through the entire population of griffins very quickly. And they end up, I don't remember if they end up dying or if they have to like kill them off.
Well,
And
they have to kill a lot of them off.
I was gonna say, I think they had to kill them because they became like super aggressive.
Yeah.
And so, but they were able to keep a clutch of eggs and preserve it with magic until for the future. But then it's been rediscovered recently, basically.
So upshot, Alan, they found magically preserved griffin eggs, and the griffins are back. Hopefully.
Okay. Now, why can this lady just leap through?
I have a theory. It's because there are a lot of illuvians, and also
a lot of what?
Those magic
the
portal mirrors.
the magic portal mirrors.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what she has to use. I don't think she can just go in and out at will. Like, oh, I'm gonna go right now. She has to find an illuvian. That's my understanding so far, but definitely don't take my word as gospel.
I wish I remembered. What's her name? Harding.
Harding.
Harding. I wish I remembered her at all. I don't. Like I would.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people are super excited she's playable,
Yeah.
but I don't remember her.
People really wanted to romance her in Inquisition, and you could flirt with her.
Oh.
But you couldn't actually like have a romance. And so, yeah, a lot of people were like, let us romance Harding. And also there's never been a dwarf romance in DragonAge. And so a lot of people.
You couldn't romance Varric?
No.
Not even as a girl?
No.
He's hung up on Bianca.
Bianca.
The one who named.
Isn't Bianca his crossbow?
He named it after her.
Oh, I completely
That's how hung up he is.
I completely forgot that. I just thought, okay, that makes sense. Again, did you like? Why do we have to keep using Varric? Like, why is Varric like everywhere?
So,
like, what if they don't kill him at the beginning? Like,
Oh,
how is that? How can it be justified that we have to have him again?
but he's not going to be a party member no matter what. If he's
No,
around,
but
he's just going to be an
it's
advisor.
like Leliana. Why does she keep showing up? Is Leliana going to show up in Veilguard?
I think it depends. But probably
I
not.
think so.
No. I don't think
No,
so.
but they disbanded the Inquisition or whatever you did at the end of whatever.
Yeah.
The Inquisition leaders have to turn up somehow. Otherwise, what's the point of like having the Inquisition around, sort of?
I
that
don't
was my question
think
for the
so.
entire game. What was the point of the Inquisition in DragonAge Inquisition? Like, what was our purpose?
So I'm hoping that because they're setting it in Tevinter, Ferelden is doing whatever, and the Inquisition, maybe you get to go to Ferelden and see the Inquisition, like, have an impact. Because
Are there Grey Wardens in Tevinter?
There are Grey Wardens everywhere.
Okay, I didn't know if like Tevinter.
And it's also primarily taking place in Tevinter, but if you look at the map, the Anderfells are kind of right near Tevinter in that area. And so I can't remember the name of like the Grey Warden stronghold.
I'm the wrong one to be asking.
It's in the Anderfells. Weishaupt. So Weishaupt is almost, I want to say, if I'm remembering the map correctly, is almost on the border of the Anderfells and Tevinter.
So we're gonna go there.
Yes, we're gonna go to Weishaupt. We're gonna go to the Anderfells. I think we're gonna go to the Navara. And
see, what I'm hoping, Alan, is with the whole Chantry thing upheaval happening in Inquisition. The Chantry in Tevinter is male, like it's led by basically a pope. So I'm hoping that there's some, like, that's the connection that they'll pick up with Inquisition, because it's an Inquisition, right? So like some link with the Chantry there.
What is canon? Like, I know in DragonAge Inquisition, I did get to choose where it said, did you side with the Mages or the Templars, right? Like you got to choose. you don't get to pick that in Veilguard, right?
Mm-hmm.
uh,
I
What is the
think
we
canon
haven't
that-
seen it. But I'm
so.
presuming there's some choices that they let you make.
I think that there's going to be like there are significantly reduced choices. That's something that has been released. I think that it's because in game it has also been 10 years since the events of the last game, and they took place basically across the continent. So I'm not sure how much of an impact they're going to have.
Oh,
There
all
are
right.
some things. Oh,
Hello, Kat.
yep.
So what I'm hoping, that's why like K Fox, it's like one mission, right? Like they can do one mission which is specific to your storyline, like
Mhm.
something with the Inquisition, something with who did you make divine, by the
Yeah.
way? Because mine ended up by definition being what was
By
the
default.
mage lady?
Oh,
Vivian?
Vivian.
Yeah.
Mine
Right.
was Liliana. Liliana was
I did
my
all three. I did all three.
No, like my first one, right? The one
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't have any like
Mhm.
because of my choices. I don't know how I like it became Vivienne. Like I was like, how is a mage like
That
that's
is
what I mean,
weird
right?
because I've
Yeah.
heard that one's the hardest to do,
I mean,
and
Sal got it on accident.
yeah, I'm pretty sure my
It was like
first
Alan, I didn't
one.
like Liliana, so I kind of like didn't listen to her at any point in time.
I didn't like
so-
her either, but I mean, again, I'm a achievement hunter,
I
so
think
I'm
my
like,
first one was Cassandra.
She
Boy.
is the easiest, but I didn't want her to become divine, so I told
Yeah.
her kind of not to.
yeah, mine
Mm.
was Liliana because I'm like, you do it, Liliana. I'm so sick of looking at you. Please go somewhere else and do something.
But the thing is that if you don't, then she disappears.
Ugh.
But yeah, so like that's why I'm hoping that like Veilguard has some link to, and it's easy to do, like one, like you get to choose your divine kind of
Yeah.
thing, right?
So question as we wrap this up,
Yeah.
guys.
Mhm.
This has been so good. Like for me to refresh on all this stuff, I'm actually kind of excited to play it, especially if the Grey Wardens are coming back. Like if the Grey Wardens are making, like the fact that I can make Grey Warden my background, I don't
Mhm.
even need another choice. Get out of my face. So here's how it's going to play out. Grey Warden background, male human, two-handed warrior. I'm just going to keep the
Surprise.
legacy going. I'm going to keep. I've done it since Origins. I'm going to do the same thing for the first playthrough. What about you, K Fox? What are you going to do?
So dual wielding rogue. So there is a faction that is it's from Tevinter, and basically, hold on, I'm gonna get this little test here. So basically, there is a faction where you help to release the slaves, and so I am doing that as an elf, and I'm sort of headcanoning that she was in slavery and then she got out and now she's going back.
I
to
wish
help
I
release
wish
the
they would let
slaves.
us link our DragonAge game so I could literally hunt you down because like you're just like you're my character's nemesis. I wish I could hunt you across systems, like cross console, and just find you and throw you back.
I
in
would
jail.
lead the elves against you, the elves and the
No.
mages.
I would. I, get out of here! It's me, the Grey Wardens, and the Templars, and we will crush you into oblivion. What about you, Sal?
I don't know. I actually have not been following the backgrounds. I don't want to get
Hold on.
spoiled,
Yeah, sorry, you said elf. Go ahead.
but I do want to. I do want to play someone with a Tevinter background, like a Magister,
okay.
perhaps.
Do
Like,
you
that would be-
want
gonna
to
play
know
are
the
you gonna play Catherine?
backgrounds?
I'm going to wait until Kim plays the game and then do what she didn't do. So
She's
so
playing
just
a rogue. Are you going to play a caster?
I imagine if they allow me to play a Magister, and if I understand that it makes a difference in gameplay, like some of these choices, I do want to play a Tevinter Magister. For that, you have to be a mage. So like I might like see if
Nice.
it matters.
All right. Well, when they let us cross-platform, don't buy into her freedom, liberty, mumbo
with
jumbo
me.
nonsense. Come over to my side.
Down with the oppressors.
We pay way better. We pay way better on my side.
Well, first you have to
no,
finish BG3, Alan, and because I'm waiting for the evil part because I can't do that in BG3. So
it's
first you
so
finish
hard.
that,
It's
and
so
then
hard
we'll.
to do it. Even knowing it's for the lulls, it's so hard to make the terrible decision. We killed 2 characters. Like, what are we doing? So K Fox, you're gonna play it before either of us will.
Yeah, I literally have the day that it comes out and the day after off of work already.
Nice.
So as soon as it
I'm
comes
relying
out,
on you to give me an objective view.
I will do
of
my
the villain.
best.
Like, I know you're predisposed to like it, but of the villain, I need you to like take a step back and be like, is this? And you've done a good job.
I mean, I do agree that Corypheus is very boring. So
You've done a good job already. So tell me, like, hey, is this villain any good? Because if the villain's good, then if the story is good, like, it'll encourage me to hurry up and play it. That's what you're able to let us know, if any of our fears are founded or if it's just all unfounded stuff.
yeah.
I will be very pleased if DragonAge produces, and I'm not talking about sales. I don't give a crap how much it sells. I care about whether or not they can get back to their single player story roots. That is what propelled them to superstardom to start with. I don't really know why you get away from it's EA. It's not entirely their fault. Part of it is EA,
Yeah.
part of it is talent left, etc. But it's just like Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 and the Mass Effects and all the Dragon Ages other than Inquisition are just so good. And even Inquisition is not horrible. It's just such a step down from 2.
And again, I feel like if you had played Trespasser, it's a mixed thing because you see how good Trespasser is, and you're like, the whole game could have been this way. But also, it's so
Like,
good.
Look, as someone who is actually replaying, it's not that bad a game. It's the opening which is just rough.
Gotcha.
Mm.
Like,
Well, and I'm also biased because
Yeah.
the first time I played it, I was actually borrowing a friend's PlayStation 4. So I literally had to rock it through it. Like, he was like, okay, I can let you have it for a week because I have finals. And I was like, okay, I'm getting through this. So like, I didn't spend any time at the hinterlands. Like, I was like, nope, we got to get
Smart.
this plot going. We got to get going. And I actually,
everything, and I was just
yeah,
like, wow.
I actually got 3 playthroughs in 1 week.
And that's the problem, right? Because like, if you remember, Alan, the hinterlands is all that collecting stuff, which is just all. That's the problem. Like, honestly, if you ignored it, and this time I consciously decided to leave, and I was like, oh, the story isn't bad.
Yeah.
Like, and there's some interesting stuff happening. It's just that if you spend 40 hours as I did or whatever in the first.
Yeah. I remember Awakening being so good in like the 20 hours that you had for Awakening. Like, it was just such a it was just a really good addition. Like, Awakening was really, really good.
Yeah.
I liked
But
Awakening.
by shortening it, I'm hoping that they give us more choices, more playthroughs. I would love some sort of difference, like in Fork, like the way the Origins had. So
I would love for the story to do something unexpected. Like, I just don't want it to be basically every fantasy storyline that we get in everything nowadays, because everything is so formulaic. Like, I just want it to I want it to be personal and have some kind of like meaning other than like they're right behind us, aren't they? Like, please don't, like, please just stop with that. And I don't know, I
So
am
Alan,
cautiously optimistic.
so closing question, while we wait for Veilguard, what do you want Kim to play and what do you want me to play?
I don't know. Nothing I suggest is going to get finished in time before Veilguard comes out.
I was going to say, we have 11 days.
Yeah, and
I have no problems waiting. You can recommend it to me.
The only thing I play are really long games. Metaphor Re Fantasio is excellent. It is really, really good. It's from the Persona team, but it's kind of like Persona, but it's a fantasy game instead of like Japanese high school. But it is quite good. Like, I have enjoyed it greatly. And there have been those story moments I'm talking about that actually have some kind of freaking personal meaning to the heroes. And guess what? No one's walking around going, gulp. Oh, So that happened. Like no one's doing any of that. It's just I just don't know why everything has the TikTokification of bloody everything. So I'm hoping, it is my hope that the trailer for Veilguard was just like a, hey, look at this, and that the game actually, like, I wanted to take itself seriously. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the first two do, and Inquisition does too in a not as good way, but you know, Origins and 2 take themselves pretty seriously. Hold on. You can start with Metaphor. It's not related to anything, and you can play any of the Persona games. The Persona games don't follow each other; they do not have a continuing thread, so any of them are fine. Persona 4 is the best one. For some reason, that is not a popular opinion. Everyone's obsessed with 5. 5 is way too long and also the least good. So, but Metaphor you can absolutely play. It's really, really good. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. This was a lot of fun, and I am so eager for it to come out. K Fox, you can tell me if it's good.
I was gonna say I do want to go ahead and give a shout out to both Evie and Anitha for helping to make this happen today.
That's true. Evie scheduled it, and Anitha made the thumbnail.
Yes.
And Alan for allowing a non-booktuber on his on screen.
Yeah, and a extinct booktuber. I don't know. I might revive at some point.
Yeah, I have been wanting to have this for forever, but I just am not very good at planning stuff, and I have no margin left because I have a child who just doesn't want me to do anything ever. Or I just don't have any brain space. But so my favorite character, if I can only pick one, oh no. I'll go. Kim, you go first. No,
Cole.
I'll go ahead.
It's Cole.
My favorite is it's probably Alistair.
That's fair. Honestly, yeah, Alistair too. I don't know if I could actually pick one. I love Alistair. I love Aveline. I love Cole.
Alistair.
Okay, so my favorites, I love Alistair. I love Morrigan because she is I just think she's a good character in that she's on your side, but is not a good guy. So I love Morrigan. I love Alistair. I love Shale. How did they make a golem so funny?
Shale is good.
I love Shale. And I love Logain. And I love Anders. I like Anders's story arc. I don't like him in 2, but I do like I think what they did with him could have been done better. But I do like that they went there. Hey,
they did. And you can straight up stab him.
Yes.
I like that too.
Which I did. And then was very upset because I had no healer.
But if I can, 100% it's dark. But I think if I can only choose one, I think it's going to have to be Alistair.
Me too.
He endeared himself to me so much because he is quipping. He's Chandler. He jokes because he's uncomfortable and he doesn't want to. He's scared and he doesn't want to face his own. The fact that he's royalty. He didn't want to do any of that. And so he jokes as a defense mechanism. So he's Chandler from Friends. And I think it's amusing.
He's very relatable.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. But yes, I do love Alistair.
Varric's good. I do like Varric. I just don't know why they keep, again, like I said earlier, I don't like bringing people back for nostalgia's sake, just to be like, oh, look what we've done, because there's too much of that just everywhere nowadays.
The Varric thing is also a little bit, I guess, frustrating as a whole, because there was a planned DLC for DragonAge 2 that never happened. It was called the Exalted March.
Why
Varric was supposed to die in it because DragonAge 2 was kind of a garbage fire, unfortunately.
Yep.
I liked 2. I don't know why everybody hated it.
I did too. Like I said.
I mean, again, it's such a change from gameplay perspective from Origins and less choice than Origins. It just felt rushed. They did a great job, I think, in the story, but
well, and it was rushed, to be fair. Yeah. And I will say, I think that if the approval system in Dragon Age Origins was the same as the one in Dragon Age 2, I would probably like Morrigan. I probably would have liked Morrigan a lot better in my Origins playthrough. Where like it's a good thing if they hate you and it's a good thing if they like you. Like I actually really liked that because I was like, yeah, I can make everyone hate me. That's easy, you know. Like
yeah. I was okay with like whatever Morgan needed me to do because the thing is I was going to romance Morgan, so I'm like, I guess I get better do it.
No, I am definitely an Alistair romancer.
I could not romance Alistair as a dude.
Yeah.
You can romance Zevran as a dude.
Who did you romance in 2?
Me?
All or both of you?
Isabella.
So my first playthrough.
It was Anders, wasn't it?
It was Anders.
Oh my gosh, you.
And I was that's why I stabbed him every time.
Talk about the walk of shame. You ought to. Oh, man.
After that, it's always been Fenris.
So no wonder these games you like you know the big Anders choice personal for you, Solus personal
so whoever
for you.
I romance in Veilguard, we know is going to be the one who betrays us.
Well,
I just fall into it.
That's the exact opposite for me. The Anders choice was really personal for me because I loved Anders ever since like from his appearance, the beginning of Awakening, all through. I loved Anders. Anders never left my party, and then he's gonna go blow up the Chantry. I'm like, well, I guess you're gonna die. Sorry, bud. And then Solus, and it's just like, okay, all right,
yeah.
That's that. All right, I guess we're doing that. Okay, let's do it. So
for me, again, I like Solus because I love the world and I love everything, and Solus had so much information. And he likes you if you ask him questions. And so I was like, I'm going to ask you every question. Oh, wow. You like really like
looks
me
like
now.
a hard-boiled egg.
Yeah. But you know what? Looks aren't everything.
Sure.
Right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it. And you know, if you're gonna play DragonAge, you know, come talk about it. And if you've got actual criticism, if you just want to wage the culture war, you can go ahead and file that under crap that's not going to happen on this channel and you know, see yourself out. Because I'm sure I will find plenty to not enjoy about this game that is just not fun. But I am hoping that I can be like, oh crap, the way I felt in Mass Effect 2 and most of Mass Effect 3, and that's what I'm hoping for. But look, if the Grey Wardens are back, we got it. Like, yes, I love the Grey Wardens. So anyway, and then Kim will play it, and then I'll play it, and then Sal will hopefully play it if we both enjoyed it. So, all right. So thank you everybody for joining, and we'll see you later.
Thank you, Ellen. Bye,
Thanks,
everyone.
Alan.